All right, warriors at home, the in-person warriors and I have done our warm-up. We are ready to go. We're ready to start building this flow. So hopefully you are as well. You've done some mobility. You've done at least a little bit of swings to get the body right. If you haven't, please feel free to hit pause, rock that, and join us up from there. Join up with us from there. So we're going to be building a flow today. We're going to be starting with 1 minute of the first movement in the flow, and then we're going to build from there, adding a second minute, adding move, adding a third minute, adding move, and we're going to build from there. We'll talk about how that goes as we get through it. What you need to know right now is what your first movement is, what we're going to do, and you can go either single arm or two hand. We're going to do a 360, and then we're going to catch into a step two moon fist, or a side lunge where we're holding the mace with our knuckles. How cool is that? Let me demo here. I'm going to go 360 left, catching with my left hand. I'm going to try and catch it with the mace landing between my middle finger knuckle and my ring finger knuckle. So I'm here. The opposite leg steps for that side lunge, that step two. Boom. From here, I'm going to stand up, throw it in the other direction, catch it on those knuckles, step away. Let's do this for a minute. So let's get set and ready. And in 3, 2, 1, here we go. I'm going to 360, catch and step. So the hand that is catching, I'm going to toss that back, throw the 360, catching on those knuckles, hitting that side lunge, or step two if you know the language. So I'm stepping away from the moon fist. That's what this is called. How cool. Boom. And again, you can go two-handed or one-handed, up to you. But we're going to fight to be smooth and controlled here. Owning, breathing through it. In 10 seconds, we're going to pause. And in 3, 2, 1, let's take a pause. Good. We're going to take a minute out here. Deep inhales, long exhales, a little bit of movement. It's a little scary. We're catching with our knuckles now. It's a little different, but you got it. Just remember, get the hand up there, bring it down. If we're tall, we have more time. That counts for this. That counts for this next move as well. So from our moon fist, what I'm going to do is pivot into a front or back lunge, step one, facing where my straight leg was. What I'm going to do with the mace is punch up, letting my bottom hand slide. It's going to switch, grabbing thumbs down, and I'm going to rock an uppercut. From here, the back leg is going to step up. I'm going to 360 towards that hand that was on the top, so that I'm on the other side. Okay? Pivoting towards the straight leg, catching with the thumbs down, so we're here. Standing up with the back leg. But we're gonna go for 2 minutes so we have some reps. Ready for it in 3, 2, 1. Let's go 360 left, catch with the left, step with the right. That hand's gonna slide. If I push the mace up, it's gonna give me time to make that transition. Stand with the back, 360 towards that top hand side, so to your right. Catch it. I'm going to punch up to give myself time to transition. Pivoting into my uppercut. Standing with my back leg, 360 towards that top hand side, catching once more on my knuckles. Punching and pivoting, throwing the uppercut. Standing with that back leg. Now if you watch my punch here, if you really keep driving, you won't have to worry about a smooth transition because it will just be smooth. It's there, it's ready for it. I can even take my hand off the back of the mace to make that happen. We're a minute down with a minute to go. By lifting the head, it's essentially embracing the mace's rotation to help guide it where we want to go. So you know how we have anti-rotation and counter-rotation? This would be the opposite of that. I came up with a name for it, I can't remember what now. Active rotation. Active rotation, I'm going to actively rotate the mace towards the other side. It wants to fall anyways, we're just helping it. 30 seconds. Active rotation. Back leg steps, so we're not losing or gaining ground. And just to make it so that the same leg steps the whole time, but that'll be more important coming up. 2, 1. Let's take a pause. Good. Deep inhales, long exhales, a little bit of movement, taking some air. We're gonna take a good pause here. All right. So coming up next, starting from the end there, I'm in my uppercut. That back leg is gonna come up again. It's going to go into a high knee, facing the way I was originally facing. Okay? I'm pivoting my body as I do so. The mace, I'm letting go of my backhand, lifting it up and over. Dropping into a dragon lunge and sword drop. And from there we'll stand up and we'll toss the 360 again. We'll go from there. So I'll show you the full thing to this point. Going 360, catching on the knuckles. Pivoting to the uppercut. Pivoting again as I stand, bringing that mace up and over, dropping down into my dragon sword drop. Standing it back up, going towards that top hand, so that I'm on the other side. Cool. We're going to be doing that for 3 minutes this time around. We'll take another 45 seconds here to let that sink in a little bit, to let that digest before we get in on it and add it to this flow. Again, 3 minutes this time, smooth and strong. Remember your breathing, own your lines, best. That back leg comes up and we turn, drop into a dragon. That's the footwork. The hand releases, pushes, pulls. Okay, I'm essentially drawing a circle around my head. So you can see it from the side, that might help actually. Boom. I'm lifting it up, putting my head through this window. Boom. Then that little bit of pivot's what finishes the circle. Alright, let's grab the mace. Let's start by going 360 left and 3, 2, 1. Here we go. 360 left, catch with the left, step with the right. Good, punch and pivot. Uppercut. Let go of that backhand, shoot that back leg, drop into the dragon sword drop. Beautiful. Stand it up, we're going to 360 the other way. Catching on the knuckles, sinking down. Punching and pivoting, throwing the uppercut. Releasing the backhand, lifting the back leg, turning and drawing. Good, stand it up, 360 towards that top hand. Very good, y'all. Getting smooth and controlled here. Remembering the breath with it, our best with it. Whatever best looks like for you in this move, in this set, in this session, finding your best and making it beautiful, y'all. That's the goal, to see some beautiful, strong movement. We're fighting for stability. We're fighting to stay smooth and controlled through the first minute. Remembering anti-rotation will help keep that mace controlled. Anti-rotation on the floor will help keep you stable. Let's own it. Good, we are halfway through this round. You may notice every once in a while, I throw the mace with my knuckles. Like, as I punch, I'm driving here, creating some lift, if you will, some float underneath that mace. Feel free, or not, either works. Okay, we're through 2 minutes. As you get comfortable, let's start doing our best, smoothing out those seams, smooth and controlled. Now, we can own our landmarks, own our lines, make it super sharp, while staying fluid, by really owning those transition points. Hey, maybe you'll find a landmark within those transitions to play with, to pause at. Feel free. 20 more seconds. In 10 seconds, we'll pause. 2, 1, pause. Good, you see it? That's the next step. Good. We'll take a good pause here, taking some air. Move around a little. Okay. Good long 3-minute set there. Catch yourself, get some fluid, move around. Whatever you need to do, I'm gonna let your heart rate settle down a little bit. Let my heart rate settle down a little bit. Let the brain cool off a little bit before introducing the next step. Next step isn't too complicated, but it is kind of complicated. It is a coin toss. So from that dragon sword draw, as I stand up, I'm going to flip the mace over. How I'm doing that, I'm lifting the mace and letting it fall. I'm letting the mace turn. If I can get it close to or past its center of gravity, it's an easy turn. You don't need to super fucking huck the thing. You can, but you don't need to. So how this looks now is that 360 to the step 2 moon fist, keeping your stability. Pivoting and punching, scooping and drawing. As I lift, point toss. Okay, that's it. That's all we're gonna add. From there, I'm gonna grab the mace, go the other way. Boom. Punch in the sky, lifting, dropping, stand and pop. If I pop, as I pop with my lower body does the majority of the work, makes it even easier. Then from there, I'm grabbing, swinging towards that top hand, good to go. Cool, so let's think about that. Let's let that digest a little bit. Let's take in some air. We're gonna take about another minute here before we get into this next round, because this next round is going to be 4 minutes long. Okay, 4 minutes. Smooth and controlled, remembering the breathing, focused on the form, keeping it smooth, keeping it strong, keeping it controlled. That's the goal. Smooth, strong, controlled. We want to make it safe, we want to make it strong, we want to make it beautiful. Okay? That's the focus. So again, one more time, I do the 360, catch in the moon fist step 2, pop and pivot, throw in the uppercut. Bring it up and around. Now as I come out of my dragon, I give a little pop with that arm, and the mace turns around. Again, if I do it as I lift, I'm good to go. I'd like to challenge you to add an extra element by getting your arm outside a little bit. Try and get a little bit of extension, or ideally, full extension. Okay, that's just gonna help the next step. Okay, let's get set and ready. We're gonna 360 to the left to begin here. In 3, 2, 1. Here we go. 360 left, catch moon fist left, step 2 right. Punch and pivot. Good. Stand and scoop. Drop it into that dragon. Now as we lift, let's rock that coin toss with some extension. Good. Grabbing again. 360 towards that side. I just executed that movement. Good. Punch and pivot. Slide and scoop. Drop and draw. Pop and pop. Good. Catching, sending. Good. Staying in control with it, breathing through it, owning it, your best with it. We're through the first minute. Starting to get the hang of it. Let's start smoothing out those seams, making it a little more fluid, a little more dynamic. But as always, feel free to own your landmarks. Hold them and own them for as long as you want. Get a little isometric tension in there by really getting that anti-rotation involved. Spoiler. Spoiler. 2 minutes, with 2 to go. Good, nice and smooth with it, nice and controlled with it. And that's our goal. Smooth, controlled movement. Finding intensity by focusing on keeping it smooth, adding anti-rotation, keeping your control, and finding your depth. And of course, reps. Many, many reps. And feel free to mess with your timing as well. How does it feel slow? How does it feel fast? Are there areas that go smoother if we go slow? Areas that are smoother if we go fast? What if we change pace? Slow at first, then adding some pace. Play around. Got less than a minute left. 30 seconds. Keeping that control, keeping that fire, keeping that fight. Your best. 20 seconds. Good, in 10 seconds, we'll take our next pause. And in 3, 2, 1, let's take that pause. Good. Again, nice long pause here. Deep inhales, long exhales. We're going to take a few minutes out here at least. Because coming up next, 5 full minutes. Longest set we're going to have. Smooth and controlled. Remembering the breathing. Core stays tight. We're owning our movement. Earning our strength. Earning our control. And earning this flow's fluidity, if you will. So, last step, you can take or leave. I'll explain what I mean. So, rocking that 360, heading into my moon fist step 2, pivot punch, stupid step, drop and draw, pop and pop. Now, I can just grab the mace here, go right into my 360, right? Or, whoop, let the hand slide to the double 360. Okay? So that would not be adding a step, that would just be making it smoother. That's the leave this last step behind. If we want to add that last step, looks like this. 360, move to step 2, punch and pivot, scoop and stand, drop and draw, pop and pop. Now, I'm going to grab the bottom of the mace, and I can either let this hand go entirely, or let it trace down for a samurai swing. Okay, with the two-handed variation, I'm letting the mace drop. My palms face forward. The mace scoops around and flicks back up. Then I do the 360, which is the other way now. Right? Progressing through. Boom, boom, boom. The single hand, again, I'm going to keep my palm forward, and it's going to do this. Okay? Palm stays forward. Brings it home. Throws the 360 on the other side. The key to this, to the samurai swing, palm alignment and elbow pin. Keep your elbow tight to your ribs. I like to keep my elbow as close to 90 degrees as I can because biceps are important to me. But if you want some extension, it can be done as well. But I do recommend keeping that elbow tight to the ribs just for the control. So let me go through it a couple times here. Full flow, you can continue in the pause to breathe, to learn and to watch. Rocking, smooth and controlled. Two-handed. Look at that, we're right on the other side. One-handed. Cool? Boom. Either works. Again, it's all about palm forward, show it off. Okay? Palm forward, show it off to the ground, to the crowd. Keeping your elbow tight. ending up back in that stable position so I can go back into the 360, right? Whether it's one-handed or two-handed, same idea. Show your palms off, elbows stay tight, 360 in that same direction. Easy peasy, not a problem, we're gonna rock it. But again, maybe you don't have room for the samurai swing. Maybe it's just not accessible to you right now for some reason or another. Maybe you would rather just learn it in person, do the wrist alignment, elbow alignment, that sort of thing. That's fine too, skip it. Forget the samurai swing. After your pop, just go into a nice fluid 360. Right, a drop-in 360, that's called, because I'm dropping it in as opposed to launching it over. Cool? So feel free to use a drop-in 360 instead. You do you, your session today, your practice today, you find your best. I'm gonna let that digest now. Okay, we're gonna let it digest for 1 more minute, then we're gonna get into this. 5 minutes full, smooth, strong, controlled. In a little bit here, I'm gonna go through it once more per side so you can get a look at it, a look at the full thing together without me talking. I'm just gonna do it. You can just learn and watch and learn. Then from there, we're going to go into it for 5 minutes straight. So here's what it looks like. I'll do it once with 2 hands, once with 1 hand. Cool. Either two-handed or one-handed in the 360 and the samurai swing. Feel free to ditch the samurai swing entirely and just do the drop-in 360. Your choice, your flow, your practice. You do you. 5 minutes to do you. Let's get set and ready. 360 left to begin in 3, 2, 1. Here we go, 5 minutes. So the key here is to make sure that we end up 360ing towards whichever side does the coin toss. That's what makes it string from side to side. So this hand is about to do the coin toss, meaning whether I'm going one hand or two, I'm going to send it that way. And that's what gets me going the other way. So again, this hand's going to do the coin toss. So I make sure to 360 that way, so I end up switching sides. Same deal with the drop-in. That's why we use a drop-in as opposed to a launch. This hand did the 360 or the coin toss, so I need the 360 that way. Doing the drop-in, it looks like that. I'm still sending it to the side that executes the coin toss, still finding it as fluid and smooth as possible. Good, we're through 2 minutes. You might start seeing me screwing around a little bit. That's just because I like to screw around a little, see what I can add. I like to see if I can make it so I don't have to catch the coin toss until I'm into my samurai. I do that by punching the mace. Feel free to try it out if you're not too worried about your ground. I did put a hole in the floor earlier today while practicing, so be aware. Good, we're 4 down with 1 to go. Keep it smooth and controlled with it. Breathing through it. Finding your best with it. Whatever that looks like for you. A very common mistake here, or maybe not mistake, but thing that occurs that I should have mentioned. On that coin toss, why I want the extension is so it's easier to get the mace in front of you. People have the tendency in their coin toss to toss behind them all the time. See? If that happens to you, just roll around. If that happens to you in the 10 more seconds we have, and this will, of course, on your own when you're working it, because I know you will. And in 3, 2, 1. Pause. Very good. Deep inhales, long exhales, move around. Alright, my warriors. As we have for you today, your mission now, do it lots. That's a fun one, that's a good one. Do it again. Hey, if you're not gassed yet, do it again. If you're not gassed yet, do it again. If you're not gassed yet, do it again. But let's practice this one. Make it smooth, make it beautiful. Post it. I would love to see it. Again, that's what I have for you today, warriors. Thank you very much for logging on and flowing with me. I hope you enjoyed that one. Again, if you're going to post it, please, or if you're going to video it, please post it. Tag me at Frankie Legs. Tag Warrior Flow at Warrior Flow Fitness. I'd love to see it. I'll see you again in person and online. Much love, y'all.